Hi everybody, it's Dominique Ensley and I am here today to give you my final update about my network learning project. My learning goal for this project was to create my very own wooden quote signs, and through this project I could only use digital resources. That means no face-to-face or in-class instruction. So be sure to watch this entire video if you are interested in making a wooden quote sign like me. The first step in creating a wooden quote sign is to gather your materials. Here in this photo, I have 3 different wooden blocks, which you can find already pre-assembled for you. I have a variety pack of matte acrylic paints, paintbrushes, chalk, and paint markers. The next step is to choose your desired color of paint. I chose blue for my first quote sign. I found that applying 3 coats of paint worked best. For a quote sign, it is important to allow the paint on the wood to dry for as long as possible before applying the desired quote. The next step is to print your favorite quote, phrase, or word. Going to my Pinterest board, you will find a site called defont.com. Using this, you can actually type in your desired quote and preview different kinds of font. Download the desired version to your computer. Once you have downloaded your favorite kind of text, you then want to ensure that you download it to your computer. Then you can copy and paste your favorite quote into a Word document. For this, I measured my wooden block and inserted the text box within that to ensure that it would in fact fit. Once this is done, you can print it and cut it out. The next step is to transfer your quote onto your wooden block using chalk. The first thing that I did was cut out my rectangle based on the size of my wooden block, and then using chalk, I covered the entire back. Then using the back of a paintbrush or pencil or other tool, I pushed on the black lettering to create the imprint. Once you have outlined your favorite quote, you are now going to use a paint marker to trace the lines that you have made with the chalk. This is where I encountered my first challenge. The paint marker was difficult to use. So using my digital resources, I found a video, which you can find in my Pinterest page, of how to use a paint marker correctly. Using the tips in the video, I found that you need to shake the paint marker for quite some time in order to get the paint loose and into the tip of the marker. Once you have shaken the paint marker for quite some time, you can then test it on a piece of paper like I have here. Then you can see if the marker is running well. After that, you can then use it to apply the paint more smoothly and evenly onto your wooden block. In the last step, once the paint marker has dried, you then want to use a damp paintbrush to wipe away the chalk marks. You can see here on the little details that I included that there are still some chalk lines. Using a damp paintbrush, I carefully wiped away the excess chalk. Then you have your completed quote sign. I am extremely happy with this final product. You can see that I have applied the paint evenly and that all of my paint marker strokes are neat and clean. Be sure to check out my Pinterest board with all of my must-use resources. Now that I've completed my first network learning project of my wooden quote sign, I can say with confidence that it does not come without challenges. Some of the challenges I faced were my paint drying time, my paint marker, and even experimenting with the fonts and things like that. Through the digital resource, I was able to find communities, videos, and people just like me trying to solve the same problems within the project. I would highly recommend a network learning project, and I can't wait to try my next one.